describe the day to me that you had with the kids at Simon's.
Well, what we did was, first of all, we had, I came out and had all three classes together in their multi-purpose room at Simon's, and I put together a slideshow of common birds that I expected we might be able to see when we went out on the field trip. But I also took the opportunity at the time to introduce some birding vocabulary so that we could talk about the birds a little more, and also have them learn some new words and then see how those words unfold in a field experience. So I sort of connected it to the science curriculum. So the words we used for the students were adaptation, migration, and habitat.
How do the kids respond to, you know, the information they're receiving and the habitat they're in, that kind of
Well, I mean, that's part of the field trip. I think what's really good for them, or what they really seem to enjoy, is first of all seeing the pictures. So really close up, clear pictures of the birds, so they get a sense of what the birds are like. And then when they go out into the field, they recognize a bird that they've seen on the slideshow. They're making a, hey, I remember we saw that one in class. So they're actually seeing the live bird in the field. I think that's a really interesting for them.
I had a really fun time with Mr. Clulow, and I asked this question about what the smallest bird was, and when I went on the walk I actually got to see it, and it was the bee hummingbird, and it was great to go with him because I think he knew a lot about birds.
Bird watching is an activity that ties into many areas of the intermediate curriculum.
Getting out into nature, seeing nature. Secondly, there's elements of the science curriculum, because we're talking about their physical environment and how birds are adapted to those environments. We're looking at a really important environmental indicator, the birds themselves. I mean, they're one of the best environmental indicators that we have, because they're everywhere and they're visible, easily trackable. They're using their language arts. They're coming back to class, they're writing about the experience, they're sending me thank you notes and letters. I mean, it's just a rich experience from beginning to end, and they're starting to learn some relatively sophisticated skills about identification and how birds are different and how they adapt to their environment. So it incorporates a number of curriculum areas, and is a rich integrated experience.
It was very cool, and I figured out lots of different species of birds and how their habitat works.
Okay. What do you know about birds' habitat that you didn't know before?
I didn't know that there was such a thing as this little black bird that lays their eggs in other people's nests.
Ah, okay. Now what kind of a bird is that?
I can't
Somebody
remember
else
its name.
mentioned that as well.
Black. Yeah, it was a cowbird. Yeah,
Cowbird. Ah, okay, okay. So what do you think about that, laying your egg in somebody else's nest?
Not the thing I would do.
No, I don't think so.
I guess one of the things that the students really got excited about when I was able to put this on an eagle nest down on the Serpentine floodplain there, the Nicomekl floodplain there, and we were able to use this to look right in at an eagle incubating its eggs. So the students were able to see this huge yellow bill, white head, and the nest right up in this cottonwood tree on the floodplain. But that became a real teachable moment, because what I was able to say to them was, after everybody had taken their turn, a bird sitting on a nest stays put, so it's nice, it doesn't fly away. Everybody, was oohing and eyeing, and some were, hardly had to drag them away from the scope because it was so cool. But I was able to say, okay, now look at that tree where that nest is. Can you find me another tree that looks just like that one around this park? They're all looking around. There wasn't any. There's just this one very mature cottonwood tree. And that's what coastal eagles like to nest in. So we're able to make the point that that one tree is really important, because that's a particular piece of the habitat that eagle needs to build its nest.
I like how we bought that telescope because we saw like a scruffy heron. It was like, it had really dirty feathers. And then we saw that eagle. Yeah. And then now we got to see a hummingbird sitting on the tree. And it was about, I think it was red.
So that's the kind of learning that you get in a field experience that is much drier if you try to present it in a textbook.
First of all, when we were going to Brandon Lagoon, we saw a red-tailed hawk fighting off a whole bunch of crows in this one big tree.
Yeah.
And
So the crows were pestering it?
yeah, and we also saw a rufous hummingbird.
They're-
So that was cool.
Wow.
We saw 2 of them,
How big was the rufous hummingbird?
about that big.
Whoa, pretty tiny.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
It was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking of lots of kids, my own kids included, watch the Discovery Channel and they see National Geographic, and it's great stuff. But they're separated from the environment that they're observing. Whereas if you're with that scope, looking at an eagle that's there in that tree, you're in the same environment with that bird.
Completely different experience. I mean, you're right. I mean, I watch Discovery Channel. I watch a lot of the nature shows too. But there's a real qualitative difference between watching a program spectacularly filmed as they are. I mean, some of the things that you see that have been captured on film and put on TV, you'd spend a lifetime looking for on your own, and maybe not see many of them. But when you're out in the field, the wind's in your hair, the smells are there, all of the ambient sounds from the birds singing is all around you, the smells. I mean, it's a whole experience. It's not just a part of the experience. So yeah.
We also did a journal on Mr. Clulow. We did it like a poem, and it's for the letters of his name.
Oh, okay.
So I'll read it.
Oh, good. Okay, I do that.
So M, migration is when birds fly south for the winter. R, red-tailed hawk was swooping down. Dot, we saw an eagle nest high up in the cottonwood tree. C, cool feathers I collected. L, lots of good memories from the walk and talk. U, under the tree we saw chickadees above us. L, letting the birds eat the seeds used to eat them.